I am Diddy, and I have built an empire in the hip-hop industry. But at what cost? My actions have hurt and traumatized those around me, and I can't take it back. It was the late 90s, and I was a young, ambitious man working at a record label in New York City. I had big dreams. I wanted to build an empire, and I was willing to take risks and make some waves along the way. One night, I found myself at a music industry party, surrounded by the who's who of the industry. I was chatting with a group of people when I spotted Lisa and her friend across the room. They were stunning, and I couldn't take my eyes off of them. I made my move and introduced myself, and soon we were all laughing and having a great time. As the night went on, I suggested that we continue the party at an after-hours spot. Lisa and her friend agreed, and we piled into a car and headed to the after-party. It was there that things took a turn. I was accused of taking advantage of Lisa and her friend, and I knew that I had to be careful. At the same time, I was also on a date with Joy, a sweet college student. But I could tell that she wasn't as into me as I was into her. In a moment of desperation, I slipped something into her drink, and before I knew it, she was completely out of it. I helped her to the car and took her home, but not before filming the entire thing. I showed the video to my buddies, reveling in their laughter and admiration. Fast forward a few years, and I had started my own record label. I was managing one of hip-hop's most successful artists, and I had even become a successful hip-hop artist myself. I was absurdly rich, with a mansion in the Hamptons and a reputation for throwing the most extravagant parties. At one of these parties, I met a kid who we'll call Anonymous. He was young and eager to break into the entertainment business, and I saw something in him. I offered to make him a star, but there was a catch. I made him take his clothes off, and I filmed the entire thing. As the years went on, I became more and more reckless. I was accused of partying with underage girls and drugging them. I hosted secret, exclusive parties called freak-offs where I would invite young, attractive women and give them drugs and alcohol. I would then make them have sex with male sex workers while I watched and filmed it. My behavior became more and more erratic, and I became increasingly controlling of my girlfriend, Cassie. I would get jealous and fly into rages, often becoming physically violent. I would punch her, kick her, and even throw hot pans at her. Cassie tried to leave me several times, but I would always find a way to bring her back. One night, I punched Cassie in the face and she left the hotel room to escape. But I followed her, naked and furious. I caught up to her in the hallway and threw her to the ground, kicking her until she was unconscious. The security footage from that night is brutal, and there is no defending it. Eventually, Cassie did break up with me. But I was still acting like a monster, even years later. I hired a producer/videographer named Anonymous to work with me on some projects. I had him filming everything, including things that I knew he wasn't comfortable with. I am Diddy, and I have built an empire in the hip-hop industry. But at what cost? My actions have hurt and traumatized those around me, and I can't take it back. I have to live with the consequences of my choices, and I can only hope that one day I will be able to make amends.